In my opinion, the fancy mess of the modern art market has contaminated what was once pure. The super wealthy have, in effect, hijacked art and turned it into a game that only the rich can play. In my view, this has had grave consequences for the development of art itself. Rather like a bad amateur scientist messing around with the DNA, it surely means that art's natural evolution must have been distorted in some way. Our minds have become so polluted with hearing about the sensational prices of artworks sold at auction that it is becoming increasingly difficult to simply appreciate a work of art for its aesthetic value alone. I mean, who today can honestly say that they can look upon a Van Gogh painting, for example, without thinking about its astronomical price? And here lies the problem. If it is only the wealthy who get to decide if a piece of art is of any value or not, then surely there is a danger that artists can become tempted to create art suited only to the taste of the rich collectors. Gradually, the reason to produce art becomes about the pursuit of money. Art then becomes merely another commodity, and its original meaning of why we create art becomes lost. You know, I'm not naive. I know that money has always been part of the art world. However, what is different now is that previously money followed art, but now money totally dominates it. I also believe that gradually the public have been brainwashed into believing that it is only famous artists who produce good art. Therefore, if an artist is not famous, then it must mean that their work can't be any good, and therefore not worth buying. This is the reason why many new artists go down the path of producing work which is designed to shock. Because to shock is the quickest way to get noticed, and therefore the quickest way to gain fame. Art then becomes another form of entertainment. Of course, there's nothing wrong with art being a form of entertainment, but the problem with that is that the artist becomes trapped in a vicious circle of having to come up with ever more shocking concepts in order to keep the public's attention. The artist becomes merely a tool for the wishes and whims of a demanding public, and therefore their art has no more value than a novelty product. It is for all these reasons why I became disillusioned with the art world, and why I decided to opt out of all the madness. I actually became so disillusioned that I almost decided to give up the idea of ever being an artist, and I never painted a thing for almost 3 years. You see, the pursuit of fame, financial gain, or a position in the social status game was never the reason why I entered art school in the first place. So I decided to take a step back. I tried to see if I could remember my original motivation for wanting to create art, and to try and recapture the feeling I had in my early days at art school. However, this was by no means easy, for I was no longer the young and innocent art student, but now older, with a mind polluted and corrupted with the philosophy of a materialistic world. I concluded then that the only way to rediscover or reawaken my own artistic motivations was to re-look at why and how art itself first began.